Hello everyone and welcome back. Whoops. I just used a freaking health kit trying to tab back into the game by accident. Anyway, what I'm doing today is, I had a very good question on my last video, and I thought, instead of trying to type out the answer, because I was like, it's a little bit more complicated than I can properly answer. So what I would do was I would answer it for you, because I know some of you are probably wondering the same thing, and the question was, why did I build such an elaborate base and waste concrete and materials when something small would do? And that's a good question. And he actually said that he builds on the rooftops of the hospital in Dyersville when he's playing on Navezgane, or on the top of an apartment building. So, what I'm going to first start off by saying is, if you haven't really watched a lot of my videos, the reason that I build big, elaborate buildings is because I freaking love to build. I've been playing this game for a really long time. I bought it February of 2014. It was Alpha 6, I believe. It was either 5 or 6, just shortly after the game had come to Steam. And I'm going to pull up a couple of screenshots just to kind of show you some of the crazy builds I've done. And some of these were with Silk, and some of them were on my own. Unfortunately, I had a hard drive malfunction, and I just have kind of left it in the computer and haven't bothered to do anything about it. Well, the game is really loud here. Maybe I'm really loud. Alright. So, I haven't recovered them, so I was sort of left at the mercy of what I still had easily accessible on Steam. So you're probably going to see things popping up on my screen here because I'm using a slightly different mode on OBS to show these pictures. There we go. Let's see if we can find them. Here we go. Alright, so some of these builds have been kind of crazy. This one here, I'm going to be popping it over onto my main window. That there was a full-scale Washington Monument. Let me make this a little bit bigger. I just want you to see, look at that. That was 7 Days to Die way back when. You see that right there? That was the radar we used to have in the game. That was your food, your water, your stamina, your health. And this was, of course, made with cheats, but I was having fun in creative mode. I assume it can be made in legit mode, but I wouldn't want to attempt it. That's way more concrete than even I want to deal with. Let's see what else we got here. This is, again, I don't have any good screenshots because of the hard drive failure, but this is sort of the inside of a cavern. This was an earlier build where there was only a few choices of blocks. We were making an underground apartment and the ceiling was collapsing. So that's what I was trying to capture there. What else we got? Here we go. This was our Mines of Moria. We never really finished it. We had a little problem with the roof collapsing. Don't ask. We weren't happy. But we hollowed that all out. A lot of it was done with dynamite. Some of it was done with auger. And my friend Thomas and I did it. And we started off doing it legit. And I think by the end we were just like, screw this, we're cheating. So, I do admit that. But we were just kind of having a good time building. So, let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, this is unfortunately just the inside of my temple. You can't see the outside. It was a massive structure. But yeah, so basically anyway, I just kind of wanted to give you the idea of, you're gonna see with me probably a lot of big, massive buildings on my videos. And if you're just starting off, I'm not going to recommend this to you because I do go through a ton of concrete. And basically the reason I built in the desert is because I need fuel. I go through tons of it. And, you know, between the mini bike and the auger, it just goes incredibly fast. And Joe has, one of the guys we play with, has started building as well his idea of a bunker. But you'll see we're on day 348, so at this point we've had concrete since probably the first in-game week. Maybe, at least by day 10, our building was all concrete. So, for our tiny little bunker. So at that point it would just became, let's have some fun and build. But, yeah, so I built down here at the desert. And, let me show you why I have a building in the desert, in case you are unaware of why you should have a mine in the desert. And I went all the way down to bedrock. You don't really have to. If you can find a cave in the desert, you usually have a good place to start. But I felt like building a massive, pretty structure on top of it. I love, like I said, I love building. But, I've started a big cave here, or a big tunnel. I was originally tempted to just take this all the way into the snow and see if I could find more nitrate. I found some nitrate actually in the desert, which just went so fast with the auger, because the auger through sand is just like cutting through butter with a hot knife. But, let's see if I can find a good deposit. I think there's one around here. If I didn't clean it all out. Well, that's iron. Ah, here we go. No? Yeah, shale. This stuff. That is fantastic for fuel. So basically, and I'm going to turn the volume way down again, so you guys don't have to hear this. So I don't have to hear it. Oops, wrong one. There we go. So basically, if you have an auger, you can come in here and just kind of see how fast even the iron's going. But you can get yourself some shale, get yourself some iron, maybe get lucky, find some nitrate. And you can take all this shale and turn it into fuel for yourself. It's wonderful. But I've just been down here mining the crap out of it. And also, since I know Joe he's making himself a bunker. Oops. I'm collecting more resources to make concrete. Because, I don't know, maybe it's just me being kind of silly about this. I don't think it really goes any faster than, you know, being in a normal mine, but it feels faster. I feel like I'm making more progress because I just see all the rock, or excuse me, all the dirt going away. So I like to do my mining down here, and I have a box full of sand and stone upstairs, and I've just been sort of churning out tons of concrete. But as you can see from the length of this tunnel, I'm somebody that actually likes to spend lots of time down in the mine, so I'll just stay down here. But anyway, I kind of wanted to talk about also why I don't choose buildings or towns or places like Dyersville. So, what I'm going to go ahead and do is exit out of this game for a second and head into a creative game, or excuse me, not a creative game, a single player game. Might have to create a new one. Just call it Hello. And I'll turn the in-game volume back up here in a second. Oh boy, it's taking forever to load here. Sorry about that. Alright, so let's get this volume turned back up. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, just for the sake of being quick with this video, I'm going to go ahead and turn on debug mode. So I just kind of need to guess as to where Dyersville is, because I don't remember the coordinates off the top of my head. Getting closer. Somewhere probably about here, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. So I'm gonna real quick change what's on my bar, grab myself some things out of creative mode. Let's see. Armor. Well, we've got leg. There we go. Alright. So just real quick, got some guns and bullets. Oh wait, I want a sledgehammer too. I know this is like getting too much stuff here just for an example. Alright, let me put some clothing on. I want you to see a little bit something called the points of interest in the game. And points of interest are basically anything that is prefab in the game. So, anything that's already built is a point of interest. And the second you step onto a point of interest, it's going to trigger something that's going to start spawning zombies. Or it has a chance to, I should say. So, here I am in Dyersville. And we're dealing with some dogs, which I can't seem to hit for the life of me. Well, I'm just gonna run. I could actually float, but basically, so you'll notice when you're looting a town and you come in and it seems like there's just more and more zombies, and you run and more seem to be spawning. That's because you're triggering multiple points of interest, POIs. So as I run through this town, it's going to take them a second to spawn. They're not all going to pop in at once, but they're going to start spawning. I see a dog down here. So they did take care of it. There was a problem that it used to be that in the game, even if your bedroll was in a location that was wow, that's a dog. It was a prefab, zombies would still spawn at that location if there was a bedroll nearby or a land claim block. Nothing would fix it. Supposedly they've changed it, so now with the last patch, actually, when you place your bedroll, it should stop the spawns. But I'm not entirely sure about that. I have not tested that yet. Although our little tiny shed that we're living in, that's our main bunker on our main gate, is actually originally a prefab. Alright, so you'll see that there's more and more zombies coming. There's lots of dogs. This is a dog that spawned towards you. So, I mean, honestly, you can live on the roof of this building. He's absolutely right. If you go up to the roof, you're pretty safe. Some zombies will sometimes manage to wander up to you, but not really that many. But my point is here, the reason I choose not to is because you can see from walking through the town to get to the hospital, I'm being followed on day 1 by a tremendous amount of zombies. This is a lot of zombies. And normally you would not have a sniper rifle or a magnum. But even if you did, you'd be spending a lot of ammo cleaning these up. And I play with people that I dearly love that are afraid of zombies. And they don't want to deal with this many zombies. They love this game. This is their favorite game. But when it comes to zombies, they don't want to have to be dealing with this on a constant basis. So I take them into mind when I'm building a nice safe place for them. And I prefer to go build somewhere else. I have other spots that I like. And I used to always build from scratch because of the fact that in prefabs, you would have the issue, even with a bedroll down, that things would spawn in your home. Granted, I didn't use apartment buildings in the top floor of apartment buildings. I would use smaller homes. But I did have a few instances where zombies spawned in my home and started breaking my things, and that annoyed me. I did not. I was very unhappy. I was standing crafting. I decorated my house beautifully, and spent all this time getting all these fancy things in there, and I hear bang, 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 bang in my kitchen, and I go out to see a zombie. It just spawned there and was destroying all the wonderful, beautiful things that I just made. So that made me exceptionally unhappy. But, oh god, there's another dog. Ah, hey. Oh wait, I think I have God mode on. No, I don't, no, I don't. I'm not. Oh boy. Okay. But yeah, so, but anyway, I kind of wanted you to get an idea. So, yeah, this is basically the reason why. Also, the loot respawns, a little bit iffy. We noticed, like, in one playthrough, we all took shelter in a shotgun Messiah. And while we were all living there, even though we weren't looting those boxes, the loot was not respawning. And we had a few problems once with a shop that we lived near. The loot didn't respawn there. So we just had sort of the unspoken rule, for the scavengers, you stay away from living in the towns. So that was another good reason why too, because it wasn't fair to people who were doing only scavenging to have to worry about a town becoming less viable or a store becoming, basically null and void because you decided to make your house there. But, I mean, if you're on a single-player game, who cares? Go for it. Go live in the Shotgun Messiah. It's just, for me, I usually play with a lot of other people, so we're always trying to kind of think of each other. When we plan out things, because you don't want to mess somebody else up. You want to make sure that you take good care of them too, and make sure that they're having a good time. But, yeah, so that's just sort of a brief, maybe not so brief overview and answer of the question of, why don't I build on top of, like, an apartment building? And that's basically the reason why. To answer why I build so big, it's because I'm bored and I have all these, well, I'm not, yeah, actually, I guess I could say I'm bored. I do get bored with this game. Sometimes. Right now I'm having a blast because I'm still building, but I do get bored very easily if I don't have a big building project to do. So I like to have something fun to do. And to me, building and making these big creative functional ideas is sort of the end-all be-all for me. And I know like Silk Dawn likes to do that too. Again, here's the info for the server. I don't care if you join us, just please be respectful of everybody. But yeah, Silk Dawn and I, we both kind of, we already have our next idea for our big build. in mind the next time we have to wipe the server. Everything seems to be running fine this time around. We didn't have to wipe. We were a little bit worried that we would, but it seems good, so we're not really worried about it. But yeah, we, well, not the very first picture I showed you, but the second picture I showed you of the sort of underground thing that was collapsing. We're gonna try to build a big underground apartment building again. So we're really excited about that. It's been a very long time since we've done that. That was, like I said, way back in Alpha 6 when I first started playing. That was when we did that build. So yeah, but so desert. Like I think I pointed this out in my other video. I think if you notice here, I'm all the way down at bedrock. There is no stone. I think it was Alpha 15, maybe Alpha 14. I think 15.0. They took out the stone layer in the desert, so it's all sand all the way down. But it has the benefit of being absolutely fantastic for mining. So if you are low on iron and you just want an easy way to get iron out of the earth, I really recommend coming down here and having a nice mine in the desert. You can see up there that is a god-awful mess, but I found nitrate up there and managed to get about probably close to 20,000 nitrate out of it before I just said, okay, that's enough, I'm done. So it's really nice, really easy. You get plenty of gas so you can keep your auger going for a very, very, very long time. And again, I'm gonna just turn on the auger here and go to town so you can kind of get an idea of how fast it goes with an auger. And as soon as I get to the end of this tunnel, I'm gonna turn off the volume again in game. There we go. But yeah, it got to the point where I had so much sand I was just throwing it out of my inventory because I have a box upstairs that is entirely full of sand and I've given plenty away to people. I have no use for sand anymore. What I'm really hoping to find is a random coal deposit, because we are desperate for coal at this point. Look at that. That is just delicious. But yeah, you see the little tower symbol close by? That's where Joe is building our new base. And I'm just going to keep digging right up to him. So there's a nice underground tunnel. I know people say, ah, underground tunnel, that's lame. It's too easy. Yeah, it is. I'm lazy. I'm doing work to be lazy. That's that's kind of the funny part is it's going to take a lot of work to be lazy. But it's fun work. It's something I enjoy. I don't know why, but I've gotten so I really enjoy my tunneling projects. It's kind of sad because I've been out and about a bit in the past few days, but I went probably, I don't know, maybe an in-game month without even leaving the base. It's bad. It's bad. So I'm just throwing out some of the sand. Don't need And actually, if you've never used an auger before, this is actually a question I got from Joe because he's a little bit newer to the game. He didn't know what he was supposed to do with it. You need to hit R to refill it. So you're reloading a gun to refill your auger with fuel. But yeah, so anyway, you kind of get the idea of how good the auger is in the desert. How fun it is to, well, I think it is, to mine. But anyway, yeah, so if anybody has any more questions for me, if I don't have the answer, I can always ask around and ask somebody like MDK. 7 Days to Die related questions, that is. And yeah, I'll be happy to answer them. But yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to say thank you all very much for watching, and take care.